I understand despair more than a perfect world. I understand why John was preaching that there's a better way. I understand why John tells us to change direction. Because sometimes we go in the wrong direction. Sometimes we go after wrong ideas. Sometimes we believe wrong perceptions. Well, I know I do anyway. And sometimes I have to change direction. And it's hard to admit. To turn. To seek God. John tells us to bear fruit worthy of the changes we have made. Live out your faith. We hear that so often. Just live out your faith. John says, share with those around you. Share with the needy. Don't take more than your portion. Don't take more than you're entitled to. Don't take advantage of anyone. Don't accuse anyone falsely. We're in the Christmas season. And do you know that Americans spend $936.3 billion on holiday sales? If you do the math and you know how many people are in the United States, that's $2,802 per person, child and included. Don't take more than you need. The world, globally, we spend over $1 trillion on Christmas. There's some things that we need to get our priorities on. And that was what John was saying. You're living here and now. Get your priorities straight. We all have places. I know I do. We're in between. We're in the middle. And all we have to do is model Christ. I think Bob Hartzler stood up here and told us once, if we model Christ and do it well, this church will be filled. So, simply put, somebody didn't light the North Star today. Simply put, we follow our North Star. Love God and love others. Simply put, we repent daily and turn towards God. Simply put, a huge challenge. A huge challenge. I talk a lot about following Christ through life. And I've told you that when I was wrestling with my call to ministry, to pastoral ministry, Tim Detweiler said, Pam, what do you want? And I said, I want to follow Christ through life. And he said, you know, Christ ended up at the cross. But that's still what I want to do. I want to follow Christ through life. And what does that mean? Well, you don't have to read very far in the Gospels to know that Jesus was very radical. It means loving, being merciful. It means pointing out places of injustices. It means to figure out how to walk humbly with God and with others. Advent, here, now, is a time of waiting in this in-between. We are in what some call the messy middle, and we do our best to model Christ as we wait in hope and peace. So I read the advice of someone, it was a counselor, and they said, what they wanted to be done that week is for that person to pick the longest line everywhere they were. Pick the longest line in the grocery store. Pick the longest line at the gas station. Pick the longest line at fast food. Pick the longest line wherever you are. And wait. I would add wait in hope and peace. Intentionally, I'm waiting in hope and peace. And look around. And how can you be that hope and peace this week? Waiting well is not wasting time. So now to be like Christ in the in-between, how do we do that? That's our reflection today. So if you want to take your green paper, if anybody needs a green paper, I'm sure there are some, you have extra, Gary? Does anybody need a green paper? Hold on, I go, what? Okay. Take your green paper, and while Kylie is playing, we're going to write down, do we have it on the screen? Nope. Maybe? What is one thing you will do while you wait this week? So take some time and reflect on that.